Today's video is all about defending after the post patch. Firstly, we're going to go through 11 crucial settings which you guys should know. I'm going to explain why you should keep it on, etc., and why you should choose this defending over this setting over the other setting. And also later on, I want to explain the 4 jockey techniques, when to proceed them and when not to, and live gameplay examples. So if you guys want to learn something, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and watch the whole video so you guys can frustrate the living hell out of your opponent when you basically defend. You give him no space. Let's get straight into the settings first. Okay, first setting, I want you guys to keep it on directional. The reason why, because you don't want the AI making decisions for you. You want to clear the ball in a direction when you feel like is right. Okay, so keep it on directional. Then yeah, this is a big one, advanced defending. One of the subscribers or viewers asked a question: how do you tackle from side to side? How do you tackle from side to side? You basically have to put on advanced defending instead of technical, and advanced defending is 10 times better than technical defending. 10 times, there's no questions about it. So anyway, what happens here with advanced defending, like let's say you want to do a shoulder tackle, but your player has to have that play style which is called bruiser, and then you side to side, then you just press the X button and he'll lunge in. He'll lunge in your opponent and he'll try and get the ball. He'll push his body through and he'll lunge in. So basically, keep it on advanced defending. Okay, pass, block assistance, keep it on, very important. And thus your auto switching, and keep it on air balls and loose balls. Always keep it on that. Okay, auto switching, move assistance, keep it on none. Then right stick switching, classical, you guys must keep it on always. And then yeah, right stick switching, reference. Okay, this here is a reference point from where you right stick switch. If you guys want to learn more about right stick switching, I'll put a video in the description of my right stick switching video. Okay, you guys must keep it on player relative. The reason why, because you see this here will indicate from where you switch next. The icon what's above your player's head. All relative, no, it's too difficult. So keep it on player relative. And then right stick switching sensitivity. This is very, very important. Keep it on between 4 and 2. Play around when it's 4 and 2, not lower than that. Then out of 4 and 2, you guys can choose which is the best for you. I prefer to keep it on 4. Okay, this here, next player switching. This here basically, like you see when you L1 switch, it selects the player closest to the ball. So that's why I choose it to be closest to the ball, because if I put it on goal side, it doesn't make sense. It's not practical. So closest to ball, because then let's say your opponent has the ball and you select, you hit L1, the game will select the player closest to your opponent who has the ball. Now, if you have it on goal side, it will select the player closest to goal side, if you understand what I'm saying. So you want to keep it on closest to ball. This here, please keep it off. No one recommends that to keep it on. Okay, so that's all the settings here. We're going to go over other settings in visual now, but all of these here, please also keep it off, guys. If you guys are learning something, smash a like and subscribe and share the video out. Okay, these other 2 settings are also crucial. Okay, we had visual. Okay, teammate contain indicator. This is for second man press. You know, when you second man press, a green icon appears above your player's head on whom you second man pressing with. And if you're struggling with second man press, please check out my second man press video. It will be in the description link. Okay, look here. When you pressing R1, a green arrow will appear above your player's head for second man press. It's very, very important. You guys should know this. Okay, then next one here, next player switch indicator. This here, while you like second man pressing or while you're defending, it will basically like show a yellow icon above your player's head. And then this will indicate if you L1 switch, then again, like if you read there, if you L1 switch again, then you'll select that player, because why the yellow icon was above your player's head. So if you read there, the next player switch indicator shows to which player you'll switch to when pressing while defending. So yeah, guys, that's it. Now let's get straight into the 4 jockey techniques. Okay, let's straight talk about the 4 jockey techniques, when to proceed them and when not to. Okay, my controller is there, so you guys can see what buttons am I pressing. Okay, look here. First jockey technique is the accelerate and brake technique. Accelerate will be R2. This is mainly used for anticipation. Like let's say your opponent want to make a pass, you run R2, then L2 will be the brake button. Look, you run into space, then L2. You see, look, R2 you run. Like let's say you also want to get a ball, R2 run, then L2 block, and as you can see, I block him. Look, you try and predict where is he going to go, R2, then L2. You see, I managed to block the ball. So that's I learned from King Sunny. He called it the gas and brake technique. So remember, it's mainly used for anticipation. Okay, anticipation being the key in defending and the most important thing. Okay, so that's the accelerate and brake technique. The next jockey technique is the slow jockey. When to proceed a slow jockey, mainly inside the box. Okay, on 1v1 situations. And what you do, you must move your controller, look your left stick in circular motion. You hold down L2 and you move your left stick in circular motion. Look how he's moving. You see? He's moving smoothly. Now, that's how you move it. If you move it like this here, look, he doesn't even move properly. And you can even hear the clicking sound. So, that's the second jockey technique, the slow jockey. Then we have our fast jockey. You hold on L2 and R2. Mainly you use this outside the box. Because you see it's very, like how can I say, it's very fast. And you need to know how to control it, you see. So you mainly use this outside the box. Inside the box you use the slow jockey, okay? Now let's get into the third jockey technique. The third jockey technique will be similar to the gas and brake technique. This here is called a tap-tap technique. Wow, how you proceed is here. Also, Dylan Banks spoke about it. You hold down L2 and you tap R2. Look. You hold on L2, jockey with him, and you can tap R2. Look. And you like basically, you can go into him after that and try and get the ball. Okay? So that's a tap-tap technique. Okay, a bonus. This here is similar to the tap-tap technique. You hold on L2 and R2. And you murder your opponent with a fast jockey. Then you let go of R2. Then you see, you'll just then hold L2. And you saw how I got a ball there again. Look, murdering my opponent outside the box. L2, R2, L2, R2. Letting go of R2 and just holding on L2. L2, R2, L2, R2. Letting go of R2 and just holding on L2. And you see how I got the ball successfully there. Guys. Okay, now let's get straight into the examples, live gameplay examples. If you guys are learning something so far, smash a like and subscribe to the channel. And remember, defending is all about anticipation. You guys will see in the gameplay how I defend with second man press, etc. Okay, let's get straight into it now. Okay guys, sorry for the interruption, but this is highly important. Before we continue with a live gameplay example, I just want to say guys, PlaySTYLES is highly important. Like this player here has it all. Look here, the bruiser. It's basically for shoulder tackle. This here, like when your opponent is side to side. And that's when you basically use this here and you press the X button. You look, he has all the features. Jockey is important, blocks important. This here for interception, anticipation. You see standing tackles and the slide tackle. You see he has it all. But Marquinhos at one hand, I think so I must change him because I like this bruiser here. If you guys can afford players like Virgil van Dijk, please try and get them and make sure you have players with good defending stats. Like you see Mendy has good defending stats. Not bad. But you see for your center backs, try to get players who both possess the bruiser playstyle, which is very important. Now straight into the live gameplay examples. Okay guys, I just don't like holding back when I teach you guys. I'm going to teach you guys something very important and also how to anticipate skill moves. Okay, look here, when you're defending on the pitcher, you guys must remember you're playing against let me just use a different color. You're playing against basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 players, that's a 10 and outfield players. With the goalkeeper, you see, that's 11 players. So what I want you guys to remember also, remember your opponent has other options to pass to. Don't just, if you chase after the ball aimlessly and then you leave space and then basically space is an open up other areas for him to make a pass. That's where passive and aggressive defending comes in. You see, and also another thing, this space is very important that you guys defend this space here and always basically cover your opponent's options. You see, always, like, let's say for example, here's a player here. This is when RS switching comes in. Now, if you want to pass to that player, you need to basically RS switch to this player here, so you cover that passing option, you see, then you maybe like track there. So it's very important, all of those things, you know, and also to anticipate skill moves. Like, let's say your opponent is like basically, let's say the box is right here. Now what you let the opponent do, you let the opponent do the skill move. Once you execute the skill move, there'll be an exit direction. Firstly, when you do the skill move, you pull back, you be passive. Then all of a sudden, once the skill move is executed, you be aggressive, you go in. That's when passive and aggressive defending comes in. Because if you all the time aggressive and you just run up like this aimlessly, let's say you run all the way there, who's here? Let me just see for a rather blue here. Like, let's say you run up all the time like that there. Who's there to cover basically the passing options? Say you ran all the way like that there. What that leaves a huge hole. That's why I say don't chase the ball. Go to where the ball's going to be. That leaves a huge hole. So you guys don't want to do things like that there. Instead, you want to push up, apply a little bit pressure, then step back, because he might make a pass. If you just be aggressive all the time, what's going to happen? You always going to leave space, and if you be passive too much, you're always going to leave space. So you need to balance the two, passive and aggressive defending. It's all about game sense, guys, and remember, your opponent has a lot of options. Okay guys, enough with me yapping on about this here. Let's get into the actual gameplay and the live gameplay when we get into it now. Okay, wait, but before doing that, I'm going to show you guys something. Okay, look here, I typed out here, defending in soccer is all about, some people call it soccer/football, but look here, it's positioning, timing, and awareness. Like someone asked about how do you tackle side to side. I said, like here in the video, you use the X button, you perform a shoulder tackle, but your player has to have the bruiser play style. You see, if you read your soccer defending/football skills are the backbone of any successful team, helping prevent goals and maintain control of the game. These skills include positioning, timing. You see, positioning is important, keeping your players in position. But sometimes you have to pull out your players out of position now and then. It's all about game sense. That's why King Sunny said this game 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4. And sometimes you also will need to second man press with your center backs. But 99% of the time, you don't second man press with your center backs. You see, it's all about game sense. You see, positioning, timing, to time tackles. I made a video on that there. I'll link it in the description. Timing and awareness. Like here, for example. Like, let's say your opponent his body's facing this way. Your opponent's body's facing this way. Where is he likely to make a pass? To this player here. So who must you switch to? That player. If your opponent's body is facing this way, and let's say this player here is here. Your opponent's body is facing this way. Where is he likely to make a pass? Here. So who you need to switch to here? Where your opponent's body is facing, that's where is he likely to make a pass. So that's where right stick switching comes in play. And L1 switching will switch to the player closest to your opponent who has the ball. Like right stick switching is for, like, let's say your player want to play the ball over here. That's when you RS switch. So I hope you guys understand the difference. Now let's get straight into the live gameplay examples, and you guys will see basically how I defend, etc. But I hope you guys are understanding this, and I hope you guys learned something. Let's get straight into the live gameplay examples right now. Okay, let's go over the live gameplay examples. As you guys can see, this bubble here is the eye tracker. This basically tracks where I'm looking. And here I'm showing you how I'm attacking, because I want to show you how the opponent is defending and why the opponent ended up conceding. Look, he's not utilizing the offside trap. What I want to say, when your opponent gives you his back, that's when you activate the offside trap. All your players will push up. It's all about timing. And when your opponent is recycling the ball, that's when you also activate the offside trap. Then all your players will basically push up. But you have to time it. It's very important. Timing is crucial. Now let's see how my opponent's defending here. Look, he's not utilizing the offside trap. He's not being passive and aggressive. He's pulling his players out of position. Can you see where this player is? Now there's space to exploit there. You see, that's why I say bringing players out of position is a big problem, and you don't want to do that. Now let's see. Again, look, he runs with this player out of position. He just wants to attack the ball holder. Don't worry about a small ball. That's why I say, you see, imagine he was here, the opponent's player. Rodrigo here won't be able to have all of the space to exploit. But now he is no longer there, so Rodrigo has space to exploit. The opponent is here, and the opponent's going after the ball. So you don't want to do things like that there. You want to apply a little bit pressure, make him scared, then track back. Because look there, the opponent's not checking the runner. That's why I say your eyes, you need to look everywhere. Now look, Rodrigo's free. Now look, is he anticipating properly? No, he's not. Recycle the ball. He's just chasing after the ball. He's only worried about that there. There. Chasing after the ball, switching to the wrong player. Instead, in this scenario, you guys want to do this here. I always tell my students this. That's why RS switching is important. And I always tell my students this. RS switching, you guys need to learn. Now look. Why don't the L1 switch to this player here? Press the ball holder. No, cover the passing. Yeah, press the ball holder and stuff, or else wait. What you should do, with this player, cover the passing lane, maybe to Haaland, then second man press with this player, you see. But instead, he's not even switching to the right players. And look, he's only then he switched. Let's see what he do here. See his anticipation, okay. Look here, now you'll see what you do. That's why I use this analogy even when you're attacking. That's why even when you're attacking, it's important even in your half. Look here, he'll run right into me. That's why I say treat your opponent's players as cars and treat your players also as cars. And the empty space, treat it as an empty road. Because you want to go into the empty road so you don't meet up in accidents. Because look, in this game, if you meet up in accidents, look, he goes right in me, ends up losing the ball. That's why I say I use that analogy with the cars. Ends up losing the ball, I recycle to Haaland, free goal. If he just had to go into the empty space and get the ball out, what he should have done in this scenario, look here, he's here. Instead, should have passed the ball back to the goalkeeper, and look how much of players are free. 1, 2, and if you look at a radar, quickly maybe pass the ball to him, and then joops all the way here. He's free. If you look, he is free. My player is basically here. He's basically free. But this opponent he panics a lot, and you don't want to do that. And look, he ends up losing the ball. Now look how I defend here. Just watch. I want you guys to watch. Look here. I want to show you here. Wow, watch my buttons. Look when L1 switch. Look, L1 switch. And what it does, it switches to the player closest to the ball, and you see this guy is about to receive the ball. You see, that's when L1 switching comes into play. I always tell my students this, and RS switching comes like, let's say if the opponent's going to play the ball here, you're anticipating he's going to play the ball there, the opponent. That's when you quickly, like let's say you have it by Haaland, you need to flick it fast, you need to go 1 and 2. Quick with your right stick. So you guys see, please remember this, the difference between RS switching and right stick switching. Look, I'm trying to anticipate well. And watch my eyes also, watch the bubble. My eyes don't only move one place. Can you see, guys, also with the second man press, I made a video on it. Can you see? I selected play from the outside and the players from the inside pressing. 99% of the time you want to do that. Only in certain situations, it's all about game sense. But you guys see how second man press also works. Now let's imagine, say for example, I'm pressing the ball over and maybe I'm covering passing lanes with one player. That's how you want to utilize second man press. Look, going into the empty space, managed to get a ball there. Now look, when I'm attacking, my eyes are looking everywhere. Why am I showing this video? Because when you attack, you want to get into the safety zone. There you see, I'm in the safety zone. Also, I want you guys to watch. Look how this guy is defending. You see how 3 players are applying pressure on the ball holder. And look at the big gaps here. He's not defending properly, this guy. Look, I'm going back. Okay, he's switching to that player there. He's trying to chase after the ball. Where's the anticipation? Look, Rodrigo's wide free. That's why I say with your eyes, you need to look everywhere. It's all about peripheral vision. You like basically, when you're defending, yes, you pay attention to the ball holder, but at the same time, you use your peripheral vision to pay attention to your opponents, other players. Like look, he's not paying attention to Rodrigo. Is he paying attention to Haaland? I wonder. Is he paying attention to those other players? Because that's what you want to do when you're driving, your eyes. You know, you don't only look one place. That's tunnel vision. See, no one's checking Rodrigo. Rodrigo's free. Is anyone checking Haaland now? Look, why is he? You see, that's why I say you need to switch early. With the right stick switching video, if you guys want to improve at this game, please watch the right stick switching video. Why is he not selecting this player here? 2, watch Haaland, because he can select this player here and just stand his ground so Haaland can't go anywhere. Defending is hard to teach, but I'm trying to teach you guys. Look, no one's watching Haaland. He's not switching in time. There, he switched too late. Now let's see. What's he doing? See, no one was watching the other player. That's why I say peripheral vision. Look, from Haaland, that's why I say my body language. Look, where's Haaland's body facing? Haaland's body is facing like this direction. So what's the most likely player he'll pass to? It's this player here I'll pass to. So basically he should switch boom, fast to this player here and close this player down. Instead, he didn't do that and look what happened. That's why I say being tunnel vision is not good. Never switch in time. Not anticipating properly. It's all about anticipation. That player is free. I managed to get a goal. That's why you see you need to think ahead when you defend. Like look here. I'm trying to think what's his next move. Look, he's facing this direction. So what's the most likely pass he'll make? And the most likely pass he'll make is to this player here. You see, if my opponent is facing this direction, he'll want to maybe make a pass to this player here. So I need to switch to that player there. It's not that hard. Your opponent's players are the ultimate weapon. Look, watch. Now I know he'll want to switch to this player here. And you see, my eyes, can you see? The ball holder's here, but look where my eyes are looking. You see? But at the same time, I'm focusing there. I'm focusing on 2 places at once. Not only on one place. I'm focusing on one place and another place. Both at the same time. That's why God gave us 2 eyes. You know, we can look at more than one place at a time. We can look at multiple places at a time. See, now he's passing back. Okay, now I managed to go. You see, I disrupted what he wanted to do there. You see, because I'm not only focusing on one place. Pay attention to the eye tracker and watch when I use right stick switching and when I use L1 switching. You guys put it on pause. But watch how I'm defending. I'm not giving him space. I'm watching my opponent's movement. Now look, safety. Safety, going into the empty space. You see? Now watch. I'm trying to think where my opponent's going to go. What's his next move? Look, I switched to that player there. Look, I managed to get a ball. That's why I say, you see guys, a lot of people ask, why people overcommit and people don't win the ball. I want to show you here quickly something. See, look here. There, I selected this player here now. Why I selected him? And I'm going in for the tackle. There's two ways to tackle in this game. I'll make a video on tackling again, or else you guys can check my tackling video what I made in the beginning of the year. But I said, see, in certain scenarios, if you guys want a strong tackle, you guys must press circle. But you guys must make sure you lined up with your opponent's player who has the ball. Then you press circle because it's a strong tackle. And if you don't time it properly and you're not lined up with your opponent's player and you don't get the ball, then your player is likely to be out of position. You see, and you can also tackle, like I said, you can hold on L2 and R2 and push your left stick in that desired direction when your opponent is and try get a ball. Like now you see, there's a chance to win the ball. I know I can win the ball because you know why? My opponent's player is right in front of my player and I can go tackle and I know I will win the ball. And watch. Okay, little bit of the game's fault, but you see, that's when you be aggressive. It's all about passive and aggressive defending. You guys see, look, I'm watching where my opponent is going. You see, I'm trying to predict. Okay, my opponent ended up shooting there. Look, guys, you don't want to make silly mistakes like that. That's why I say, like here, look, that was uncalled for. Look, why I never think before making a pass. Instead, I should have maybe ball roll and quickly pass here. Look how much of players are open, or else I should have go back to my goalie. That's how you see I was making the same silly mistake what my opponent made when he basically conceded the goal. So you don't want to make mistakes like this. Calculate, guys. Think ahead also when you're attacking. Because if you lose the ball in a wrong position, it's a problem. You need to defend and you might concede a goal. See, look here, second man pressing, like let's say, that's why second man press is a good tool, you see, in a way, but you guys need to know how to use it, you use it effectively. Now let's imagine I'm cutting a passing lane here. Cutting a passing lane here towards my opponent's player, and I'm applying second man press on a ball holder. I'm killing two birds with one stone. But see, my opponent's player is free. That's how you see defending is all about the anticipation. Let's see. See, I don't panic. See, I'm giving my opponent a hard time. See, I'm not watching only the ball. I'm watching the empty space where my opponent is the space is likely to exploit. I'm watching all of that there. See, look, I'm thinking ahead. You see, look, for one moment my eyes is focused on the ball, then I'm looking somewhere else. Look how my eyes are moving. You see, I'm thinking what's the next pass my opponent's gonna make. My goal is not only to focus on the ball, and I always say this. Look now when I'm attacking. I'm trying to keep the ball safe and play it safe. I'm trying not to lose the ball in the wrong area. But I hope you guys are learning something so far. Remember, don't chase the ball. And look when I'm using certain jockey techniques. See, and I'm applying pressure, going back. Just watch all of that when I'm being passive and aggressive. See, in defending, you always need to think. In this game, you always need to think and play from your subconscious mind. See, look at my eyes. Peripheral vision. See, I knew I can get a ball there. That's when I'm aggressive. You see, also when your opponent, when your opponent has no ball contact, like you see when your opponent's overusing the run button, the ball's far from his feet. That's when you go in for the tackle. Silly pass again. You see, you guys don't want to make mistakes like that. Just watch the way I'm defending. I'm not giving my opponent a chance here. Always thinking where's his next move. My eyes are moving around here. I don't want to give my opponent a chance. Managed to get a ball there, pass there. Now look here. Now let's see the way he defends here. Okay, I managed to get a ball there. Let's see, is he switching in time now? Who's checking Haaland? Okay, I'm going in there. Okay, I got past my opponent there. Now let's see, he's going after the ball holder. And what about Haaland? No one's checking Haaland. That's why you see, his eyes only paying attention to the ball. And you don't want to do that. And that's how I managed to get basically that free goal. You guys see. This game, unfortunately, I don't know why the whole thing never record. But just watch how am I defending and when am I utilizing second man press, all of that. You guys see, going back and forth. Because I also need to. Okay, I was lucky there. I managed to get a ball there. Okay, yeah. There was a problem when at the game had to end, but because it never recorded fully. I don't know why. But anyways, guys, you guys see the examples now. I got another live gameplay example, but unfortunately, I couldn't cut it because I recorded it on the PlayStation and I don't know why I can't convert it to MP3. But this game, you must watch. Me and this opponent here, we basically drew 0-0. He was defending well and I was defending well. We'll check it out right now. But if you guys are learning something, smash a like and subscribe to the channel. Okay guys, here's the game. This game was 0-0. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but just watch her. See, I'm not using the offside trap, but just watch the way I'm defending. And look at my controller. See, I'm applying pressure. Okay, my opponent's taking a bit too long with the ball. But just watch how am I defending. Okay, I managed to get a ball there. And also watch now the way my opponent's defending. Look at his switching. Look. He doesn't only look how proactive he's in switching. I go to one player. He switches there. He's giving me no time. Look. You see how good is he switching. And also look at myself. Look, that's why if you switch too late, you see, quickly before he gets the ball to Andre, I switch there. Now look at my opponent switching. And you'll see this was 0-0. Look, I'm going there. Look how he switches in time. Look. He's good with his switching. Okay, there I managed to get at space. Managed to get a ball to Rodrigo. See, I still couldn't get past him. Now look at how am I defending here. See, and I'm not worried about a ball. But you guys also in defending, you guys can't be too passive. You see, I lost the ball in the wrong area. Look, my opponent almost scored there. But this game was a good game. I won't lie. Look, I'm trying to attack. Look how my opponent's defending. See, you know when to be passive and when to be aggressive. It's very hard to balance. But you guys need to practice passive and aggressive defending. Just watch. Look how we switch in time. Look, I pass to Haaland. Haaland has no space compared to my first opponent. Look, I got like nowhere to go. Look how well he reads a person. Can you see it's a battle? But anyways, guys, I want to show you here. Look, this game was null. It was null, guys. Null. I don't want to show the whole thing and stuff. If you guys want me to show the whole video, let me know in the comment section, and then I'll make a separate defending video on this here, or else I'll put it on my Patreon and just make it for free. Let me know. But anyway, look, this was a good game. None of us scored here. Every side I retry and go, my opponent blocked me. Every side he retry and go, I basically block him. But anyways, guys, let's end the video right here, guys. Yeah. Guys, so if you learned something, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and remember, stop chasing after the ball. Your main goal is to basically try to predict where the ball is going to go, where your opponent's going to, pass the ball. Like, look, like I spoke about body positioning. If my body's positioned in this kind of way, then I know then I'm gonna pass there. Like, you need to watch the way your opponent's moving. Like, I might be in that direction and quickly I'll maybe move in that direction. And you guys will, guys need to look at, the way I'm positioned, and also look at my other players, what's open, who can I pass to, and just try to predict what I'm going to do. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you guys learned something, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Now, guys, if you guys want to learn something new about left stick dribbling, the thumb grip, how to position your thumb, this is highly important. Click on this video here, right here. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.